Here's a number worth knowing. If your total monthly income, Social Security, a pension, anything you pull from savings, adds up to more than $4,700 a month, you're already doing better than half of retired households in this country. That's the real middle point, pulled straight from census data. Maybe that number relieves you. Maybe it makes you a little uneasy. Either way, stick with me for the next few minutes, because I'm going to walk you through exactly where these numbers come from, what a normal retirement income actually looks like, and where you stand next to it. I'm Heather. I'm not a financial advisor, and I'm not here to sell you anything. I studied public administration, and what I do is dig through the real government numbers, Social Security, pensions, census data, so you don't have to spend your Saturday buried in spreadsheets figuring it out yourself. Here's the thing nobody tells you. There's no scorecard for retirement. The Social Security Administration doesn't send you a letter ranking your check against your neighbors. Your pension office definitely doesn't either. So most people just go by feel. If the month feels tight, they assume they're behind. If it feels okay, they assume they're fine. That's not really a way to know anything. By the time this video's over, you'll know the actual numbers most people never see. What a typical retiree brings in, what puts you above that line, and exactly where your own number lands. Here's what we're covering today. First, the average Social Security check people actually collect. Not the number politicians talk about, the real one. Second, the income level that puts you below the halfway mark. Third, the income level that puts you in the top slice of retirees. Fourth, why two people can collect the exact same Social Security check and still end up with very different amounts of real money in their pocket every month. And last, the exact place to go today to pull your own real numbers instead of guessing. Let's get into it. Let's start with the one number almost everyone already half knows. The average Social Security check. Right now, as of January 2026, that number is $2,071 a month for one person. A lot of people hear that and assume that's what retirement pays. But that's only one piece of the puzzle, not the whole picture. Total retirement income is Social Security plus whatever else you've got stacked on top of it. A pension if you have one, money you pull from a 401k or a TSP, maybe some part-time work. For a big chunk of retirees, Social Security really is the whole stack. Roughly half of retirees get half or more of their total income from that one check. And for about 1 in every 7 retirees, Social Security is nearly everything, 90% or more of what they live on. So what does that look like in real dollars? On the low end, the federal poverty line for a single senior in 2026 sits at $1,330 a month. That's the floor. People living almost entirely on Social Security often land somewhere just above that line, depending on their work history and the age they filed. Now here's the number that matters most for this video. The actual middle, not the average, the median, meaning half of retired households make more than this and half make less. That number, based on 2024 census data, is $56,680 a year. Divide that by 12 and you get about $4,700 a month. That's the real line most retirees are living around. Quick way to picture average versus median. 10 neighbors live on the same street. 9 get by on a modest income. 1 is sitting on a much bigger pile of money. Average all 10 together and the number looks great, but it doesn't describe 9 of those 10 households. The median just asks who's in the exact middle. That's the honest number. And on the high end, the top 10% of retired households bring in more than $188,000 a year, over $15,000 a month. That's what pulls the average so much higher than what most people actually experience. Exactly why the median matters more here than the average. None of this is here to make anyone feel behind. It's just that words like average and typical get thrown around loosely, and the real spread, from just above that poverty floor to well into six figures, is wider than most people assume. Let's make this real with two quick examples. First, someone who worked a full federal career under FERS, about 30 years. Their Social Security check lands close to that $2,071 national average. Add a FERS pension on top. A FERS pension like that often runs around $2,100 a month, and they're already at roughly $4,200 before touching anything else. Add a modest 4% withdrawal from a $150 retirement account, about $500 a month, and their total lands right around $4,700, basically sitting right on the median line. Now the second example. Someone with no pension at all, just Social Security and whatever personal savings they've managed to put aside. Same $2,071 Social Security check. No pension to add. Maybe a few $100s a month pulled from savings, if there's any savings to pull from. Their total might land somewhere between $2,300 and $2,800 a month, well below that median line, even though they worked just as many years, just as hard. Same starting Social Security check, two very different outcomes. The difference isn't luck, and it isn't effort. It's whether a pension or steady retirement savings was ever part of the picture. That's the real variable, not the Social Security number itself. Now, one big exception, and if you're a retired teacher or a nurse who worked for a public hospital, this part is for you. If you worked for a state or local government that didn't pay into Social Security, two old rules, the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset, used to shrink or completely wipe out your Social Security check, even if you'd earned one through other work. That's no longer true. The Social Security Fairness Act, signed January 5th, 2025, fully repealed both rules, retroactive to January 2024. So if you're in that group, your real number today may be noticeably higher than it was 2 years ago. One more thing that shifts everything: where you live and whether you own your home outright. $4,700 a month goes a lot further in small-town Ohio than it does in coastal California. The number on paper is the same. The reality behind it isn't. So how do you find your real number instead of guessing? 5 simple steps. 1. Go to ssa.gov and log into your account. That gives you your actual Social Security estimate, tied to your real earnings record, not a guess. 2. If you have any kind of pension, contact your plan administrator for your official estimate. Federal employees go through OPM. Teachers go through their state's retirement system, usually called a TRS. 3. If you've got a TSP, 401k, or IRA, check your balance and estimate a conservative 4% annual withdrawal. That gives you a realistic monthly number, not a hopeful one. 4. Add all 3 together: Social Security, pension, savings withdrawal. That total is your real monthly number, not somebody else's average. 5. Compare it to the numbers in this video and check whether your state offers a property tax exemption for seniors. It won't change your check, but it can change how far that check goes. Every one of these steps is free and takes just a few minutes. I want to be clear about something. Nothing here is telling you what to do with your money. I'm just showing you where the actual lines sit based on real federal data, not guesswork. But here's the truth. Every month you go without knowing your real number is a month you're budgeting off a feeling instead of a fact. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm someone who reads the actual rules so you don't have to. If this was useful, subscribe. There's a new one covering a different piece of this system every week.